Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ted's Booze Cellar, the channel that hosts the premier alcohol review show here on YouTube. And I just wanted to say first of all, to start this video with saying thank you to everyone for your support recently. Obviously I did take a short break recently, but your support since I came back has been fantastic. And I want to really say thank you to everyone who's been commenting on my videos recently, giving me suggestions for drinks to review as well as video ideas as well, so I really want to say thank you for all the interest and support recently. Now, as you will have seen from the time bar on this video, this is obviously going to be quite a different video to your usual episode of Ted's Booze Cellar. I want to trial this as something that I'm really interested in because when I was studying at university, I studied history and I really enjoy studying history. So I thought, why not combine my interest of studying history with the topic of Ted's Booze Cellar, which is obviously alcohol. So I thought, let's start doing a history of series where I review different brewing types, alcohol types, and different brands. In terms of the name for the series, I'm thinking Boozy History of. That seems simple and it's straight to the point and you know what you're getting into. And for the first episode of the Boozy History of, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most meme-worthy drinks in British drinking culture, that is Carlsberg Special Brew. But we're also going to be taking a look at the general history of the Carlsberg Brewery. Before we get into the overall history of the Carlsberg Brewery though, I thought it would be good to go over the specific history of Carlsberg Special Brew because that's what inspired this video to begin with. And it does say on the Carlsberg and Marston's Brewery website that Carlsberg Special Brew is a full-bodied, fruity-tasting, strong lager with a good, clear bitterness. First brewed in 1950 to commemorate Sir Winston Churchill's visit to Copenhagen, Special Brew has cognac notes to reflect Churchill's favourite tipple. The dark golden brew stands as the #1 premium beer in the high alcohol content category and has been one of the leading strong lagers since its launch to market in the early 1970s. Yeah, not really sure if everyone agrees with that assessment.
I don't even think this would be nice as like a beer to like mix into sauces or stuff because it's so harsh that I think it would just overpower basically any other flavour there is. It's so unpleasant and so repulsive to like what I consider to be like basic enjoyment of a drink that I honestly cannot recommend this. And so I have to say, for only the third time ever in the history of Ted's Booze Cellar, this gets a 0.
There's no crispness to it. It's not particularly refreshing. It's overly sweet. It's not particularly refreshing. It's I don't know.
But it's not that bad. It's not that bad. If it didn't have that syrupy taste of it, it probably would have done a fair bit better for me.
Now, I do want to make it clear that there are people on the internet who do have more positive views of this drink, so I will leave a link to a review in the video description down below of someone who gave this drink a bit more of a positive review, and his name is Andy's Beer Reviews. So I'll leave the link to his video and his channel, as well as the other two YouTubers I just featured, in the video description down below. So do please go and show all of them some support, please. Okay, so now we're going to go over a bit of the general history of the Carlsberg Brewery. The brewery itself was actually set up in 1847 by J.C. Jacobsen, or Jacob Christian Jacobsen, who was a famous philanthropist and science bug. He set up the first brewery in Valby on the outskirts of Copenhagen, where it still remains to this day, and the guy was attracted to the area because of a natural spring there that was discovered in 1847 while a railway was being built. He did pass away sadly in 1887 and left the majority owner of the company as the Carlsberg Foundation, and the flagship brand Carlsberg was reportedly named after his son Carl, which does seem quite likely based on some of the evidence I found. Carl was more of an art man himself, and his collection is at the NY Carlsberg Glyptotek, which you can find in Copenhagen, I believe. Now, I also wanted to touch on the brief story and legend of Emil Christian Hansen, who was born on the 8th of May 1842 and died on the 27th of August 1909. He won a gold medal in 1876 for an essay on fungi called... I'm not going to pronounce that, and he also published a Danish translation of Charles Darwin's The Voyage of the Beagle, which was titled... I'm not going to try and pronounce that either, but he was also hired by the Carlsberg Laboratory in Copenhagen in 1879, and he became the first person to isolate a pure cell of yeast in 1883. Another historical figure that we have to go over who has a large association with Carlsberg is the mighty man himself, Søren Sørensen. Now, this guy is my guy. He was the director of the Carlsberg Laboratory Department of Chemistry from 1901 to 1938. He also is credited with inventing the pH scale, which was originally used to assess the acidity or alkalinity of a solution on a scale of 0 to 14. It is still used in certain parts today, but originally Søren studied the formation of amino acids and how enzymes were made from proteins, and he discovered that the hydrogen ion concentrations were key to the performance of the enzymes. So, therein, he developed the pH scale to monitor conditions in a solution of an enzyme, so that he could hopefully help improve the process of making beer. Now, as far as achievements go, finding a solution to help find the acidity or alkalinity of certain solutions going into the beer making process is absolutely key, and Sørensen does have to earn his place in history. But we're also going to go over a few other key points in the history of the Carlsberg Brewery, so let's briefly skim over them now. In 1950, obviously, we had Special Brew being created. In 1973, the tagline of "probably the best beer in the world" was created. In 1992, Carlsberg merged with the Allied Lions Group, who owned Tetley's. In 1997, Carlsberg Group takes full ownership of Carlsberg Tetley. Most recently, and I think this is a pretty big milestone to hit, San Miguel brewed an insane 1 million hectolitres in a single year for the first time. In 2016, which is pretty damn impressive, because, yeah, San Miguel is a damn nice beer, but still, that's a lot of beer. Now, if we're really being honest, the only drink that can rival Carlsberg Special Brew in terms of its meme status in British drinking culture is really only Carling. And it's obviously well known that it was made originally to commemorate Churchill's visit to Copenhagen in 1950. What some people do forget, though, is that he was also delivered a couple of crates of the stuff in May of 1951, and he was so touched by the gesture of goodwill from Carlsberg, and Denmark obviously, that he ended up calling it a commemoration beer. Commemoration to probably needing to get your liver pumped, but then again, considering Churchill's drinking habits, I mean, don't even think an exorcism would do the job. What I also wanted to point out as well is that some people have forgotten that the drink originally used to be 9% alcohol volume. Yes, Carlsberg Special Brew used to be even stronger than it is now. It was for then a short period reduced down to 8%, and then it was then reduced to its current alcohol percentage in 2015 to 7.5%. This was mainly due to the UK government introducing some new regulations around this point in time, that no single-use can of alcohol could contain more than 4 units of alcohol at one time. And this also extends to the fact as to why you can only buy Carlsberg Special Brew in 440ml cans or the smaller glass bottles in the UK now. Why you just do not see the old iconic 500ml cans anywhere anymore in this country, unless you go to some unscrupulous places. I mean, to be fair though, I mean, in the UK it's literally officially referred to as a super strength beer, and in the US, I mean, they literally call it malt liquor there, so I kind of think that goes to show how strong it's considered to be. I mean, it's so strong, and some people give it such a harsh impression from its reputation down to its properties and everything else in between, that one charity in Ipswich literally referred to it as some actually, I probably shouldn't say that on camera, I might get demonetized. Look, I would recommend you search up what a certain Ipswich charity said about Carlsberg Special Brew. Ooh, it is spicy. It's very, very spicy. But it does highlight a particular social issue, that some people do see Carlsberg Special Brew as being a really tenuous alcoholic drink. And while it does have this status as a meme drink in British drinking culture, it can't be denied that one single can of Carlsberg Special Brew is going to create a much more intense and strong alcoholic reaction than the vast majority, if any other, mainly available beers that you can buy in most UK shops. Does this mean that it's necessarily a bad drink to have in our society? Not inherently, but it does mean that I guess people do have to just be a lot more responsible when they are consuming it, because it is pretty hardcore. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty strong. Nice. Actually, Nice. So before we finish as well, I do want to go over this absolutely mental story out of one of Carlsberg's satellite breweries in Russia. Basically, two top-level employees at an executive level, in fact, or, well, now they're ex-employees, were arrested at one of Carlsberg's satellite breweries called Baltica Breweries. Now, Baltica Breweries are a brewery in Russia that Carlsberg have a stake in, but they don't fully own. Now, these two employees were arrested on the 20th of November 2023 with the condition of remaining in custody until 30th of December that year on the suspicion of fraud, according to the St. Petersburg Vyborg District Court. Now, large-scale fraud can carry a sentence currently of up to 10 years in prison in Russia, and this is because the two employees were reportedly accused of transferring intellectual property rights to Carlsberg illegally as Russia assumed control of Baltica Breweries and Carlsberg's stake in the company in July of 2023. Carlsberg did deny the allegations, but Russia did say that they participated in fraud. And yeah, it's just been a whole mess. Carlsberg have even done away with the licensing rights for Baltica to produce or even market and sell any Carlsberg Group products. And because of this, Baltica now are looking at suing Carlsberg. So yeah, that's pretty insane. Honestly, they might have already started suing them at this point. Don't quote me on that, but definitely do some more research into it on your own time and see if anything else has happened in the interim, because this story is absolutely mental. I'm about 90% of the way done with doing this video. I've been working on it for about 4 hours. Oh my god, but yeah, god, it's going to be worth it. Oh man. Oh, a lot of hard work, but it is going to be worth it. And there you have it. And that is just a good, solid, all-round rundown of the overall and comprehensive history of Carlsberg Brewery and Carlsberg Special Brew by extension. Like I did say towards the start, I did kind of originally set out to make this specifically about the history of Carlsberg Special Brew. But aside from the story about it obviously being brewed to commemorate Churchill's visit to Denmark in 1950, I couldn't find any further meat and potatoes on the story and the history of Carlsberg Special Brew outside of what I've really already mentioned. If anyone does have any further information, then do obviously please let me know. I should also mention now that I did obviously feature some YouTubers earlier in the video. You will obviously have seen them, so do please check out their channels, who I will leave the links to in the video description down below. I'll also be trying to leave the links to the pages where I did my research, as well as the pages where I got all the photos that I used in this video in the video description down below as well, so do please check those out. I do hope that everyone has enjoyed this video, and if you haven't, then do please let me know what did work better and what worked less better in this video, so that I can maybe improve on it for next time. While I am interested in studying history, it has been a few years since I was at uni, so my studious skills might be a little bit rusty, and also I do appreciate that this is the first time I'm trying a video of this particular format, so if there are any mistakes I've made, or if there's anything that you guys think I could improve on for next time, do let me know, because I do want to listen to some feedback and improve as I go on. I am also going to be trying out a few other video formats with some of my mates outside of this, but I will also be continuing to do Ted's Booze Cellar on the side as well, because that is my baby. So I do hope you guys will stick around for more content like this, as well as Ted's Booze Cellar and anything else you might want to suggest in the comments section down below. If you did like this video, then do leave a like, share, comment and subscribe. If you want to check out anything else I do online, I'll leave the links to all that in the video description down below. And until next time, have fun, stay safe, whatever you're doing, don't do anything I wouldn't do, wash your hands, drink responsibly, know your limits, and I hope you enjoyed this boozy history of Carlsberg Brewery and Carlsberg Special Brew. See you guys at the bar next time on Ted's Booze Cellar.